Hi everybody. I just wanted to show you, in case you're bored at home and you don't know what to do with your time because you're self-isolated, how to paint a really simple rock with things you might have around the house. I'm going to use the end of a paintbrush. I'm not even going to use the difficult end with the brushes, the normal painting side. I'm going to use the other end. I've got toothpicks here and I've got Q-tips here. And I just picked out some acrylic paint, some green, some turquoise, some purple, some white, and some hot fluorescent pink. They call that one rosemary. So I'm just going to paint a simple design. Everyone can follow along if you'd like to. If not, I hope you enjoy what I create. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head and show you how I make one of my painted mandala stones. This is a rock I just found on the island, on Lummi Island where I live, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to start with just a little bit of white. I kind of like to start the centers with white quite often. And I'm going to just eyeball where I think the center is and just put a little dot there. I like to make my dots as round as possible, so that's a good start. And then what I think I'll do is I'll dot around that. And I'm going to put one tip of the toothpick in the white paint and put it on one side of that dot. Then I'm going to go across the way, kind of make a little even side. Then I'm going to go up and down on this side, creating a little bit of a plus sign or a cross. And then I'm going to paint one dot in between each one of those. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to appeal to you and look good to your eye. So we're just using the tip of a toothpick, some white paint so far, and the end of a paintbrush or anything else. I've got Q-tips. We're going to do some painting with Q-tips also. Let's use the end of the brush again, and let's go in with the turquoise color. And we're just going to put a little dot just a little bit distance away from the two of the white dots, and then go all the way around the circle doing that. So we're just dipping it into the turquoise paint, going a little bit between two of the white dots with the tip of a brush. And we're dipping the paint, the brush in the end of the brush in the paint each time, so we have an even sized circle, even sized dot. So it's just straight up and straight down when you put the paint down. It makes it a round as possible dot. Okay. So that's a good start. We'll see how that goes from here. Add a little bit more paint, enlarge those dots a little bit to make them more even. These are not my usual tools. I'm just trying to show you that you can do things around the house using just household items to create some art. Then I'm going to take the toothpick again, and using this super bright pink, I'm going to put one dot on the end of each one of those turquoise dots. Just one little toothpick dot. Dip it and put it so it's kind of lining up into a line. If you were going to give yourself eyeball a little bit of a line, you'd go straight down. You kind of want it to get into the end and on the middle of the turquoise dot. So one little dot with a toothpick, any color paint. The paints I'm using are just my idea for the day. Every day I wake up with a different idea of what colors I want to use. These are just my mood for the day. Something kind of bright and cheery. It's a little bit of a gray day here, and everybody's been in kind of a downer mood lately, so I thought this might help be cheery. Now I've done that. That's just mostly my guidelines, so I try to get it as much in the center as possible. Now we're going to do something. We're going to dot around the turquoise dot. So we're going to put a dot on either side. Put a dot, put a dot. We're going to go around And do this on either side. We're just trying to kind of decorate around the center dot. The turquoise dot, I'm sorry, not the center dot. So it takes a couple of dots on each side pretty much to make it around. This one's going to take a third. My dots are not perfect today. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to have a nice evening, nice day. And I hope you enjoy this. Kids of all ages can do this and enjoy themselves. It's just a little bit of a distraction. Get you off the computer. Well, actually not, I guess. You're probably watching this online, so maybe not. Well, I'll get you off your other computer things that you normally do. This video is just for fun and just to give you a little bit of an idea of things you can do when you're a little bit bored and you want something different, you want to create something pretty. Just use your own designs, your own colors, however you want to do it. Okay, that just gives us a little bit of a design to start with. Now I'm going to go back. I think I'll use a Q-tip. We haven't tried Q-tip dotting yet. And I think I'm going to use the purple for this one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on the end, and then in between each one of those petals that I've created kind of a flower look, I'm going to put a purple dot. They don't have to be perfect. It would be great if they were, but we're just trying to have fun today. Add a little bit more to this to make it a little bit more even on that side, and a little bit more to this to make it a little more even on that side. They are definitely not even, but again, it's just for fun. Now after that, we're going to take the end of the paintbrush, wipe it off a little bit, get the turquoise off, and take this green and add just a dot of green in between each one of the purple. That one got squeezed out a little bit. My dots got a little bit too close together. Doesn't matter. It's just for fun. Okay, it's getting nice and colorful. Now I think we're going to go back and use some more of the pink. And we're going to make the same thing with this brush. So I'm only using 3 tools. I only got Q-tips, toothpicks, and the end of a paintbrush. I think we'll do this turquoise color right on the end of each one of the purple dots. Just add one there on the end of each one. Some people like to place the dot with the rock closer to them. Today I'm doing it on the opposite side. Hopefully the camera will pick it up better for you. I do it on both sides. It depends on my day and my mood. Okay, and I think now we're going to go back with the Q-tip and do bright pink. I think I'm going to add some more pink. I'm using, this is Craft Smart brand. You can get this just about anywhere, Michael's or I think even Walmart, I'm not sure. Or online, of course. You can get everything online. Just add a little bit more pink to the dish. So you don't have to, if you don't have these palettes, you can get these anywhere. Also, I think the dollar store even has these, but you can get these anywhere. Or if you don't have one, just use a little plastic cup that you've got laying around, or a paper plate, anything like that you can use. So we're gonna just dip this color. The Q-tip is not perfect. Not even close to perfect. Let me try to find one that's a little bit closer to round. Okay, there we go. Dip the Q-tip in the paint, and we're going to go right in line with that green dot. I guess I need to pick up more paint. There we go. Colors are beautiful, but you can use any colors you have on hand. So if you have any acrylic paint on hand, you can create something like this. You can pick a rock out of your garden. Doesn't take anything special. I wash the rock first, and that's about all I do to it. My Q-tip's not holding up very well. I have several of them. Okay, I'm going to teach you one of my favorite techniques next. So pick whatever color you want, and we're going to do something called, I call it walking the dots. I'm going to try it with this paintbrush, which I haven't tried it with this before. And I think I'm going to use the white. So, first thing I'm going to do is put a dot right, I usually line them up first. So I go around the whole thing and I put a little dot in the center. I'll show you. This is one of my favorite things to do. Oh, I need a little more pink on this dot over here. Created a little hole in the middle of it. There we go. So, let me get back over in front of the camera for you. You can tell that videotaping is not really my thing. I haven't ever really done it. Painting rocks is my thing. but anyway, so what we're going to do is walking the dot. I'm smearing all my dots right now. What we're going to do to walk the dot, maybe I will have to face this a little bit, is bring it all the way around that rock. Just take it all the way around. As many dots as it takes. So you just go close to the pink dot, or whatever dot you chose, whatever color you chose. From that center one that we made, it kind of gives us a place to start, and just walk it around. It's called walking the dots. And honestly, it's the first time I've ever tried to do this with the backside of a paintbrush, so it doesn't have to be a paintbrush. You could be using a chopstick or any kind of a little tool. Just don't use your mom's good silverware or something like that. And just get enough paint on there to go around. In true walking the dots, you make sure that the dots get smaller as you go. I'm not really being that fussy about that right now, but as the paint gets deposited on the rock, it gets a little bit less paint each time you put a dot down, so it gets a little bit smaller. Some of them do this better than others. Some tools do it better than others also. Okay, so now we've got some bright colors. We've got some pretty little things going here. Now we're going to add some top dots. So the dots that are already dry, we can place another dot on top of it. So I'm going to use the toothpick so I can get a smaller top dot and put one white dot on each of the turquoise dots that we put on in the first. Just try to put it in the center. This doesn't take any great skill, it's just fun. And I think the purple dots are now dry enough to where I can add a color to that, and I think I'm going to do the turquoise on top of those. So the whole point of this is just to keep your mind occupied, have a little fun, put a little color in your life, brighten your day a little bit, give you something to do, something new to try. Now I'm going to try the purple and put that on top of the green. So one little purple dot on top of the green that we put around before. If you don't get enough paint deposited the first time, you can go back and touch it again. That'll give it a little bit more. I'm going to use a new toothpick. And now I think we've got these little turquoise dots here. I think I'll add some of the hot pink on that. So I'm going all the way around the rock. I'm adding one little dab of pink on top of the turquoise. Oh, that one needed 2 dabs. Try to get as close to the center as you can, but it's not important if it's perfect. It's just important if you're happy with it. And if this is your first time trying it, do not expect too much from yourself. Just have fun. Just relax and enjoy the process. Okay. The pink dots are larger and they need to dry a little bit longer. So we're going to go in and we're going to add a little bit more color. I could use something in between the size of my brush, my toothpick, and definitely smaller than the Q-tip. But we're going to go with the brush and give it a shot, see if we can just dab a little bit on there. I'm going to take the turquoise. I'm going to add a little more to my tray here so I can get a nice little bit of it. You don't need much paint. If you've noticed, I've hardly used any paint. So I'm going to just get the end of the brush and I'm going to dab a little tiny bit in between the purple dots, all the way around. It's okay if it touches the dots. It's not a big deal. We're just doing it for a little bit more color, adding a little more, waiting for the pink dots to dry. If you're going to move the rock around, make sure you touch it low enough on the rock so it doesn't affect your painting, because the paint might still be wet in places. Acrylic paint dries fairly fast though. Okay, so that adds a little bit more color. And I think we need a little bit more of something in between the white dots around here. I think maybe the purple. So we're going to take a little drop of purple with the brush again and just put it right in between each flower. I think they look like flowers, the white dots. And again, we're just doing this as we go. I should probably let it go around to your side of the rock. So I'm just putting a little purple dot. Okay. It's starting to look real pretty, isn't it? Let's add a little white dot in each one of the pinks. So I think what I'll do is get a little bit more white, tiny bit more. There we go. And using the tip of the brush, add just a little white dot in each one of these pinks. Again, use any color you want. Do not worry about if you don't have the same colors that I have, or if yours doesn't look anything like mine, that's okay too. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just as long as you're having a good time, enjoying your day. Okay, so I think we need just a couple green dots on the end. So using this brush, the end of the brush, where the purple is, I'm going to go and put a dot there and a dot there. Okay? So right below the purple. One dot next to each other, or two dots next to each other, one dot and then another. So moms or whoever is painting, do not be afraid of getting paint on yourself. It washes right off with soap and water. If somebody tries this little rock design and sends me a picture of it, in whatever colors you have, I will be happy to donate this rock to that person who first sends me a picture of their own creation. It won't be judged by the best, it'll actually be the first. So that'll give you something to go on. I'm going to get the white with a toothpick again, and I'm going to put a dot on top of the dot I already put in the turquoise. So, oh no, I'm not. I'm going to put it in the side ones. These little side turquoise. That's what I'm going to do. You can see I'm making this up as I go along. There's no design planned. This is just placing dots